Hello, my name is Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org. All of our shows are available on YouTube. On ntm.org, you'll find all the links. By the way, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube. And we've actually gotten a number of new subscribers this year, and thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. CommunityPolicingCaps24.org. And speaking of community and orgs or whatever, but you know, one of my favorite non-political seasoned guests, he's not running as a candidate, he is involved in his community, is a very talented artist, centered in Uptown, and that's Jeffrey Littleton. Jeffrey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you very much. It's good to be back here, Abbey World Headquarters.
First of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, and no, it's good seeing you. So you want to tell us, want to talk community? You want to talk art? Let's talk both.
Well, we could talk community and art because I'm on a committee is about, well, it's because it's politics, because CTA and everything. And and I am glad. Thank you very much for the compliment of being a talented non-candidate. I've always wanted to be a non-candidate and talented at it. That's good to know. But I'm on a committee now because I don't know if you heard about Wilson Station. It's 200 going, who knows how much it'll be by it's done, but it's 200 million plus renovation.
Wow.
Big renovation. So, you know, think Howard Street, but bigger. It's going to have the Purple Line stop in there, but it's coming straight from new. And the reason why it's so much money, more than Belmont and Fullerton combined, even though the station house at the end of the day is going to look about the same, is because it has a really 70-foot span going across Broadway. So really you have the same bridge going across Wilson as you have over Belmont or Fullerton, but you also have the Broadway one. But also there's the Gerber building. I say also again. The Gerber building is a big historic building, and that's going to be part of it too, on the south side. So you're going to have a big north side station, north side of Wilson and south side. And then there's all these other areas adjoining it because the original Wilson station was so large. It was almost like a mini Union Station of the north side in a sense. It was kind of a switching, you know, it was the end of one line, the start of the north line. It was just really big, so there's a lot of areas adjoining it. And there's also Sunnyside Mall is kind of almost tied to it. There's sort of Truman College there. It's like there's sidewalks that sort of just end and don't go all the way. And the new station's also going to have an exit at Sunnyside. So there's all these new public spaces flanking it, and all these desires to like kind of tie into it, because it's almost like there's an entire part of Sheridan Park to the west isn't even connected to Broadway or to the station. So we got a committee that's got, we only have 40 months total length of the plan, which is a long time. One of the most difficult parts will be just to stay together. So we got people, different block clubs and organizations, and a crazy artist or two to get together and try to figure out like what we can do, what we can get in there. Because you go by Belmont stop, for instance. I was just there last night. Where I don't you remember that Army store, Belmont Army?
Yeah.
Those are all the hipsters go. You know, this wasn't. You didn't have a lot of military people there, but you know, maybe a couple. But you know what I mean. It was, but that place is gone, and the lot's kind of cut in half because the station expanded. You know, they tore it down.
Yeah, I always see that place from the L. There'd be like you could see all this military paraphernalia and stuff.
Yeah, well, that building's gone because they kind of went, but what's left is about a 15, 20 feet. And they just put a fence on it in gravel because nobody got together and said, well, can we do this? Can we do that? You know, and you know, Uptown's a very different thing. This is going to be the biggest change in Uptown. Is going to be this station when the station goes in because it's so central. It's right at the core, and it has this huge. So you know, we have a desire to bring like a French market type thing. I don't know if you've ever been to New Orleans. They have a French market. It's like kiosk based.
As a matter of fact, there was a French market near Union Station.
Yeah, yes.
And I have been. There's actually a couple of. There's a kosher place in there, and I deliver papers there. I've been in it.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. It's
really
really cool.
Because it's small vendors, and it can change. And in Uptown, it could even serve several functions. It can be like an incubator too for businesses. Because one thing I noticed in New Orleans too is a lot of people who start out with a stall. It said step up. You know, let's say somebody wants to start a business. You know, they want to be a store owner one day. It's a big step.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a half a step, and something that's a very convenient place right there in the middle of the transit hub. So yeah, we're trying to, and every single part of it too. I'm trying to get in little art projects here and there because we have one. There's $200,000 allotted for this. For
nice.
No, nice, except it's all going to one artist who isn't even local. He's not even American. He's
wow.
He's from England. He's not even
Sorry to
English.
hear that.
He's Sri Lankan. So he gets the whole thing. You know, and it's kind of a shame. You know, because TIF money's involved. If TIF money wasn't involved, and because if TIF money is involved, it's accepted from the rule of 1.5% for public art. But because TIF money is involved, it doesn't have any obligation. So they're doing 0.1%. And it's all going to a foreign artist. That's great. I don't want to cut down on this guy. He's actually a really good artist. You know, I don't want to get him too much. I want to give him his fair share. But it'd be nice to see if we can somehow coax a little more and just try to learn from some of the lessons of some of these other transit stations. They really have, really spent a lot of money with so little return. I mean, they really didn't live up. I think Howard Street is kind of a good, I know we're up here, but I don't want to beat up on Howard Street, but I think it didn't really live up to its potential for that amount of millions of dollars.
It did not. I was there twice last week.
It's weird.
And you know what? I just don't like it. I really don't like it.
There had to have been a better way to do it. Like, you shouldn't have to go upstairs to go downstairs and then come out here, and then you're in all these buses, and there's like this big shopping area, but you have to go through this thing and up an escalator to get there. It's really weird. And you have to cross these streets.
Yeah, and then sometimes the escalators don't even work, and I feel very bad. I get off the Howard Station, and I've got to go up to get into the station, and there's no escalator there for people who are disabled.
And it's high up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just poorly designed. And you know, they got one big public art, if you look at it there too, that one big ring or something like that. What do they got? Or that thing with all little discs. Like, that's where all the money went. And so, you know, we have to try to get in front of it and just try to get that going. And there's a lot of it that's involved with the politics too, because this is just getting started, and Kappelman is involved, and, you know, a lot of things involved with the Alderman isn't the only game in town. You know, a lot of times it can either speed things up or it can slow it down or it can make it confusing. And the problem we've had is, or I've had with him particularly, but other people have too, is that he really tries to micromanage the content. So we really have to try to get in front and try to get a process that just involves more people and not fewer, because yeah, there's been a lot of problems with that too.
Yeah, I got very turned off on Kappelman when he tried to stop the Salvation Army, I believe, from feeding hungry people.
Yeah.
And that's just basic human kindness and charity.
Yeah.
You know, you do feed the hungry. You've got to do that.
And it wasn't even strictly for them to feed the hungry, but also for them it was their calling card. For them it was how they approach homeless people and build a relationship is with food. And people have been using food all the time. So sure, they need the calories and the nourishment. Ironically, as you're homeless, there are other ways to get food too, and that's what Kappelman would like to point out. However, you know, there isn't a shortage of people reaching out to homeless people. And that's just what the Salvation Army used, a cup of soup and a hello, here's our card, let's talk. And then next thing you know, they find out their names and who they need and who they can hook up with. And he just wanted to cut that tie as if it was just extraneous. And yeah, there were a lot of things. I mean, you can go on and on. He has, which is why I love his candidates. There's actually 3 candidates in 46th Ward. Do you want to go down to the 46th Ward for a minute? You know,
absolutely, please.
On the 46th Ward, it's coming up in February. I'm sure you're aware. February 24th is the election. I got a feeling it's going to be a runoff in April because Kappelman doesn't have 50% plus. He just never did. You know, in the general election last time, he had something like 19% of the vote, and then he won in a runoff against Marley Phelan. And he's only lost people here and there. And it really isn't a big loss. Okay, so he lost a lot of people with the Salvation Army truck. He's also lost a lot of people with each and every individual deal that he's done. I mean, with Maryville was a big one where it's like, okay, we're going to spend millions of dollars bringing in subsidized luxury housing. And that kind of ticked off a lot of people who think that's really not the best way to spend money or to even devote future resources. And at the same time, it didn't work, so it kind of ticked off a lot of people that did think that was a good idea. He's been really talented at kind of alienating a little bit of time. So I think there's going to be like a runoff. But okay, so there's 3 candidates. Denise Davis, who is she was the chief of staff for Helen Schiller, longtime alderman. Before 24 years,
right?
Yeah, and she's running, and I don't know how much support she has. She's really going at it. She has a few people with her, and but I don't know. I don't think she's got it. And there's another candidate who's pretty new. You know, I haven't met her. I've talked to her a little bit, exchanging emails. But looking back at her, she's Amy Crawford, and she's a lawyer but a partner, which means she's smart. You know, they don't just make anybody a partner. I know that much. I'm not a lawyer, but it's tough for Kirkland Ellis. Have you heard of that?
Oh, that's a major big law firm. Big time.
I only know it because everybody says it is.
Big time. That's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 law firms in the state.
Well, she's a partner, so she's smart. So I think she's got, and she's business. Okay, so she's into business law, and we need that. And I think the problems with Kappelman is he does not have any background in what is very complicated. I know enough about law and business to know that I'm not an expert, at least, and I know that to go toe to toe with these developers, it's not enough to just tell them how much you love them and you want to tear down these obstacles for them. They've got to be kind of negotiating partner. That's how business is done. That's how good arrangements are done, is that everybody at the table is competent. So we need somebody who isn't just compassionate, that's got that business competence. But Amy Crawford, that's why I'm backing her up 100%.
Cool. Now, at this point, we're out of time, so I want to tell if people would like to contact you.
Well, I tell you what, find me Facebook/artist Jeffrey Littleton.
And that's where we found each other, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, or Instagram. My username is just Uptown Chicago. Because, you know, I'd say one of my critics on the internet said it's like Uptown, it's just Jeff Littleton's neighborhood, and everybody else is just passing through. So, you know, that's what it is. I figure, well, I'm Uptown Chicago, so that's me. So look for me.
So Jeffrey Littleton, artist, thank you so much for being
Glad
here.
to
And it's
be here,
always
Avi.
a pleasure to see you, and good luck
back.
in all your endeavors.
Yep, thank you very much.